Actually have an audience question about vaccines, and this is from Megan, who joins us today in our live audience. She asks, as Omicron subvariants continue to develop and circulate, is the federal government rethinking their strategic plan to address COVID-19, including investing in second-generation vaccines that offer broader, more durable protection against SARS-CoV-2 and its variants? Boosting every 2 to 5 months is not a plan, as in fact detrimental to the overall vaccine policy for a number of diseases, including measles nationwide.
Yeah, well, Megan, it's a great question. And I think that what I would say is that rethinking happened several months ago. When the National Pandemic Preparedness Plan came out, it had an eye toward variants, and in specific, knowing that there's always going to be a new variant coming our way. How do we get to a space where we're no longer just chasing our tail? And we know there's always the threat of a variant that can evade or escape our immunity. And we're seeing and hearing about that now. People are following BA4 and BA5 very closely. You know, I think that's something that we're really trained on, because we know that if that becomes the dynamic where we have a variant that's, you know, our current level of immunity doesn't protect us, that's terrifying to a lot of folks. And so, yes, that's a huge part of our strategy today. Of course, many of you probably heard that some of the pharmaceutical companies have described having bivalent vaccines. I know Moderna in particular has. And so we're looking at that. But I'll tell you, we will not be first in line in the world to purchase those vaccines if we don't get the dollars from Congress. We can continue to pass out the vaccines that we have. But this is why the ongoing response and the investment in the ongoing response is so critical, because, you know, the president's described this as a wartime effort. And I can't think of a wartime effort that I've seen in the history of this nation where we pulled the wartime response funding in the middle of the wartime effort. You know, it's so important that we say we're still in this. There are still hundreds of people dying each day, well over 1,000 people in hospitals each day. Countless cases because so many are being tested at home, and we know that this pandemic is still going strong. We're just better at navigating it. Doesn't change the fact that we're still fighting it. And so I think that, you know, absolutely agree. That's a huge part of our strategy moving forward, is both our surveillance, so we have a better sense of what's coming our way, our coordination around the world, but also, you know, the broader vaccination effort. A lot of people, just a quick note, a lot of people have asked, well, when should people get that fourth booster or the second booster, fourth shot? And we know from the data that, yes, it does provide additional protection. You know, my parents are both over 65. They asked me, when should I get this shot? And I say, you get it now because you don't know what's coming your way. And even though there may be a new vaccine coming in the fall at some point in time, and it may be better, who knows if you're going to make it to the fall. If you were to get COVID and you had waning effectiveness now, take the tools that are in front of you, take full advantage of them now, because again, that's so important. So I agree, it's not a strategy to vaccinate folks every couple of weeks or months, but I think that with the current state of the science and the tools that we have today, that's our option. We're continuing to invest in having better options.